Obviously, a lot of preseason accolades for you and things, but there's one story that stuck out in my mind where it had a few photo galleries. Looking at your apartment, your house, your wife's got a lot of Marquette stuff on the walls. You're not even out of college yet, and you're already losing that battle. How do you feel about having the Marquette things hanging on the wall in your house?
I feel fine, and this is why I feel fine. She has a big problem with always being around Badger stuff all the time, so the least I can do is hang a little Marquette cover up on the wall. And, you know, she had great years at Marquette. You know, you never want to forget, you know, the people that helped you out. You know, they obviously helped her out a lot over there, so. It's a tough question, but, you know, I got to give her what she wants to, so got to keep the house happy.
Yeah, you'll be saying that for quite some time. Obviously, coming into the season, you lost some pretty talented seniors last year. Having seen enough out of the freshmen through pickup games, workouts, etc., do you think you'll be able to match what you did last year with some of these incoming freshmen coming in? Not that they're going to replace the seniors that left, but as the team as a whole?
Of course. You know, it's always been a program that's able to get guys to replace the guys that left. You know, you look at the year we had when Londo, Tucker, and Cameron was here. When they left, you know, we had an even better year. You know, so it's something that the coaching staff has really been great at doing. You know, getting guys that can come in and can contribute in ways to help us win.
You had a great year last year. What did you do to in the offseason to improve on that, or can you improve on that? What can take your game to a higher level?
Well, you know, I've really been looking at a lot of film of myself and the team and the things that I need to improve on. And I felt, you know, to help me be a more complete player, you know, I need to improve on my ball handling and my shooting. And also, you know, just being a more smarter player, you know. But that comes with experience and things like that. I've been in the gym with my family a lot during the off season, you know, working on my ball handling and my defense and my shooting. So hopefully it's something that you guys can see that it paid off during the season.
You know, trying to, you know, be a role model for some of the younger guys. You know, when you were a younger guy, you didn't expect to watch that much film, did you? Is that one of the things that you try to tell them that's important to stay with?
Of course, you know, that's something they need to do because, you know, obviously when it's time to step on the court for practice, coaches like to see things done right. And if you're able as a freshman to come in and the coach doesn't have to say anything to you, obviously you're above the bunch. So it's something, you know, that I tell all of them guys, you know, look at film, look at how we run our plays, how we run, swing, you know, look at the history of the teams and things like that because it'll pay off, it'll help you.
You know, looking at, you know, the night of the Grateful Red a few days back, the pre-taped filming of the dance-off between you and Coach Ryan, were you with him when you guys taped that? And if you were, how embarrassing was it to watch your coach go through something like that?
Well, I'm glad I wasn't there because I think my expressions would have been a lot worse. But, I mean, he can move for an old guy. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, he can move. It just shows how fun of a coach he is. He's a great guy to be around. You know, to get out and do something like that, you know, with your team and things like that, just shows that you're there for your team, not only for yourself. You know, so.
Going back to mentoring some of the younger guys, you know, everybody comes in, it's their first year, they're chomping at the bit, they're dying to get out there and play, but it's a long season. Do you have a tough time explaining to them that just slow down, take your time, it's going to come to you, or is it just let them go, let them roll until that day comes?
Well, it's hard to explain to them to slow down because they're guys that's coming in and they're trying to make a name for themselves. They're trying to show coach that they're able to perform. So it's really hard to tell them, look, you know, slow down a little bit. You know, it's a long season and things like that because they feel as though they have something to prove. You know, they feel as though that they want to get on the court. They want to take the next man's spot. So it's really hard, you know, trying to tell them to do that when, you know, they're trying to, you know, establish themselves.